can't be free. Everybody wanna judge, say I'm a thug, I'm a player, I'm a simple, why I can't be me? When I walk up in the store, all the Karens get to staring at me. Put my heart in my music, it's still on my sleeve. Everybody been portrayed.
So fam, what's the word? This your boy Spiritual Trey, and it is now episode 65 of the Soulful Thoughts blog. And today we gonna be talking about spiritual warfare. We're preparing for spiritual warfare, part 1, the ground level. Now, before I go into what I'm talking about, I want to apologize, family, because I know I've been, kind of inconsistent over the last couple months. I went from dropping a video every week to every 2 to 3 weeks. And I promise I'm going to get back to doing it every week. I'm just adjusting to a lot of lifestyle changes. I just had a baby a couple weeks ago. I'm adjusting to a new place and everything. So it's just, I'm going through a lot of adjustments right now, right? So I apologize for, my lack of consistency, but I will get back to it. Now, before we dive into the lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if y'all want to see y'all boy in the algorithm. Let's dive right in. So, like I say, and if y'all see me look down, it's because I got the notes written down on this little notepad or whatever it's called. So, boom, preparing for spiritual warfare, ground level. I'll explain what I mean by ground level in a second, but what is spiritual warfare? We got to define that, right, before we can start preparing for it. Now, I'm pretty sure y'all heard this term plenty of times, right? And just like any other spiritual term, it's a lot of spookism behind it. I'm here to nullify all of the spookism behind any spirituality. That's what I do when I get up here. So, spiritual warfare, let's talk about it. What is the spirit? I spoke about this many times on the channel. It's your own personal space of observation, right? Spirit is all around us. It's the space that we live within. But your own personal spirit that we call a soul, you become a soul when you become self-aware. So a spirit is a self-aware space, right? So your own space of self-awareness is your spirit. With that self-awareness, the self-awareness itself is your mind. You feel me? So you got the spirit. The spirit becomes self-aware, which forms the mind. We use the mind to connect with other spirits, and throughout, just from engaging in desires and just from, working with the mind, we eventually manifest ourselves into this physical realm in the physical body, right? I know that explanation could be a little more in-depth, but like I say, y'all, I talked about this too many times on my channel to break it down every single time, right? That's just a short little summary of spirit, mind, and body. That's all this world, this universe really is. Spirit, mind, and body, whether it's a celestial body, a human body, a bacterial body, a plant body, it doesn't matter. Physical, metaphysical, and then spiritual. Those are the 3 layers of life. So boom. Now that we know there's nothing that exists outside of spirit, mind, and body, what is spiritual warfare? Obviously, spiritual warfare is war between spirits, right? How do us as spirits go to war? We know one way is with the physical body, right? But what's another way that we go to war? The actual original way that we go to war? With the mind, right? Before you can even get to a physical war with the body, you have to go to war in the mind first, right? So the original warfare is spiritual warfare. A lot of people think spiritual warfare is, some type of fairy tale to where, spirits are in these type of, angel type bodies, and you got spirits and demon type bodies, and they physically fighting in the metaphysical. Take the spookism shit out of it, y'all. All right. We all go to war in the mind every single damn day, and there's different levels to it. Today, we're going to be speaking about ground level. What do I mean by ground level? Everyday people, the type of spirit, because remember, spiritual warfare is psychological warfare. So the psychological warfare that you go through with every day-to-day people is what we would call, the ground level spiritual warfare, right? So boom, let's dive into it. What are 9 steps or 9 exercises, or whatever you want to call it? What are 9 things we can do to prepare for spiritual warfare, psychological warfare on the ground level? First things first, you have to meditate. Why is that? Why is meditation so important? And that's usually step 1 for all of my 9-step videos, right? Just for the simple fact that your subconscious mind is your shield. Let me say that again. Your subconscious mind is your shield. Why do I say that? Because intuition lives within the subconscious mind. I'm gonna say that one more time. Intuition lives within the subconscious mind. And we gather up intuition from experience, learning from experiences, right? We supposed to learn from our experiences, let those lessons rest in our subconscious mind, go into new situations with open minds, and allow our intuition to guide us, and, you know, trust that if any red flags come up, our intuition will catch it. So I basically just explained it. You want to meditate so you can be in a space to where you actually trust your intuition, because a lot of the times we go into these new situations with new people with, like, you know, we might have preconceived notions, you know, we might have, you know, premature expectations, or, you know, or just be on super defense mode because of something that happened to us in the past. And that's how you end up biting yourself in the ass a lot of the times, because most of the times your premature expectations are wrong of people, right? So you want to trust your spirit's ability to learn lessons and go into situations with open minds, and just trust that your intuition is going to guide you through it. And you can't do that if you don't meditate often, because you're not going to be able to silence your thoughts and feelings when that time comes, if you don't do it, you know, on a day-to-day basis, you know, just on a regular day-to-day basis anyway. You feel me? So you want to master silencing your thoughts and feelings so your intuition can take over during these situations of psychological warfare. Now, step 2 is shadow work. Before you can even learn the psychology of other people, first learn your own psychology and what got you to the point of where you are at now mentally. So you have to do shadow work and find energy sources, find the sources of your triggers. You know, acknowledge all of the things that traumatized you growing up. Just get to know yourself. Actually take some time to yourself, you know, throughout the day, go into a private room, you know, whatever you got to do, just get some private time to actually think about all of the shit that you probably try to avoid to think about. The shit that's probably causing your depression, causing your anxiety. Get to know yourself more. Become more intimate with yourself. Now, step 3 is to master self-love. The reason why self-love is so important is obvious. I don't got to stay too long on this topic, do I? Self-love is a shield also. You love yourself just as much, if not more, than anyone else. There's no way anyone can use your love against you. And if you guys need help with mastering self-love, watch my 9 steps to mastering self-love video. I got a video on that. It's 9 steps you can do to really accept. But for one of them for sure is that you have to accept all of your flaws. You have to accept all of your insecurities. Accept all of the bullshit you've done in the past, all the wrong you've done to people. Accept it. And, you know, accept the bed that you've been made, but accept everything that has happened up to this point that has you in this current mindset, right? And then step 4 is perception control, because after you accept everything, it's time to change your perception on shit that might have went down that is traumatizing you. The reason why you want to do that is because people can use your traumas against you too. And like if someone sees that you've been through some shit to where, like, for example, let me put an example out there. Let's say you're a person who was in a household to where your parents didn't show much love to each other. It wasn't a very affectionate home, and it was probably a lot of mental abuse going on, right? If a person, you get older and you come around a spiritually wise person that's, you know, with bad intentions, they might see the fact that you grew up in a home with lack of affection, and, you know, that you're craving that type of attention so much, they'll give you that type of attention to reel you in, just so you can play a certain part, a certain role that they want you to play in their life. You feel me? I talked about this in my spiritual pimp video that I dropped a couple videos ago. You feel me? So you want to, what was I saying? You want to master perception control and create a healthier perspective on your traumas so people can't use that against you. Now, step 5 is to, hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. My handwriting sloppy as hell. But nah, step 5 is to don't connect love with obligation. Now, this is a big one, because a lot of the times when we love someone so much, we immediately feel obligated to do whatever we have to do to make their life easier, right? To a certain extent, that energy is all right, but make sure you watch that shit, because love does not have to tie to obligation. That's why it's so important for step 3 to master self-love, so you can always put yourself first. You feel me? A person will see that you love them so much and see that you feel obligated to, you know, keep them in a certain position, and they will really use that against you. I know everybody who watched my video is smart enough to get what I'm saying, so I'm not gonna stay on that topic too long. Now, step 6 is to don't be afraid. And by the way, y'all, I wish I would have been said this before I started the 9-step series. There's no way possible y'all gonna remember all of these steps, right? So it's probably good that y'all take notes whenever y'all watching my 9-step series, because none of this shit can happen in a day, right? You can't just master being spiritually ready for warfare in a day. So it's good that you guys actually keep these notes, take one step at a time, and, you know, and actually get to that point. But back to the lesson. Now, step 6 is to don't be afraid to stand against social norms. And this is pretty obvious as well. People will use the fact that they see that you are, you know, connected to living in a, you know, stand up with the Joneses, or just, you know, playing out any trend that becomes popular. They could use that against you, you know, or they could put pressure on you in that way. Now, step 8 is to learn manipulation. Learn how to use other people's desires against them. Just for the simple fact, it's not so you guys can become a spiritual pimp or a spiritual predator or anything like that. It's just so you can be able to fight fire with fire in situations where it calls for that. Like, for example, it don't got to be nothing crazy. It can be as simple as something like an interview. An interview is spiritual warfare for sure, because the interviewer is trying to, you know, get through any mask you might be putting up, fight through any mask you're putting up, and try to see the true you as for who you are as a spirit. And you as the interviewee are trying to sell yourself to the interviewer as this person that you may not even be. You feel me? So, and that's technically manipulation, right? Right. So that's just a small example of how you actually do need to know how to manipulate in order to, you know, make it in this world. You feel me? So don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, because that's a dirty ass world. That's all I'm saying. I'm pretty sure y'all get what I'm saying. And there's other situations that I'm sure that y'all can form in y'all mind where you will have to fight fire with fire. You feel me? Sometimes it's just necessary. Now, step 9 is to limit time with people who don't align. And that's just for the simple reason nobody wants to be in spiritual warfare all damn day, right? All day, every day. So the more that you actually get around people who actually align with you mentally, the less you're gonna have to go to war mentally. You feel me? It's your boy Spiritual Trey signing out. Remember, you are not your mind. You are the spirit that's forming and creating your mind. So pay attention to how you formed and created your mind. Then pay attention to how everyone in your environment formed and created their mind. Find the source, find the energy sources. And I promise you, with that information, you'll be prepared for anyone who comes into your space. You will never lose a war mentally. It's your boy Spiritual Trey signing out. Love you, family.
On the beat, start preaching. Feel no evil, see no evil, but peep it. I don't aim for the stars, I want leeches. And the snakes born, I'ma kill the whole species. Rest in peace to all the peaceful preaching. The youngest wildin', but they say they evil, that's kinda reaching. Who really controlling the way you thinking? Find the truth.